Today we're going to talk about multiplication of fractions. So the rule for the multiplication of a fraction by an integer or whole number is to multiply the numerator only by the given number and not to change the denominator. For example, say we have 2 times or twice multiplied by 1/2. Well, we simply just multiply 2 by the numerator and we end up with 2 divided by 2, which is 1. Or in another case, say we have 1/3, 1 divided by 3, we multiply that by 2, we simply end up with 2 divided by 3. Well, say we have another case, if we take, let's go for 8 divided by 9 and multiply that by 3. Well, in that case, we multiply 3 by 8, so we end up with 24 divided by 9. But as seen in the previous videos when we talked about the common divisors, actually the common divisor here for 24 and 9 is 3, common divisor. So this expression here can be simplified to say, well, that should be 8 divided by 3. And since there are no longer any common divisors, this is the simplest term of 8 divided by 9 multiplied 3. But actually there's a shortcut here. If we are able to divide this integer right here that we are multiplying to the fraction, if we're able to divide the denominator by this integer right here, actually there's a shortcut on how to put the fraction in its simplest terms. Well, you might have noticed that already, but look here. If we take 8 divided by 9 and multiply that by 3, then actually we can just say, well, 9 divided by 3. So that is equal to 8 divided by 9 divided by 3, which is equal to 8 divided by 3. So that is a small shortcut that you might use in order to make your calculation faster. But notice it cannot always be done if you are not able to if you're not able to divide this integer right here with the integer in the denominator. Okay. So in general, if we multiply the fraction, say a divided by b, by the number b, the product must be equal to a. Well, simply because if we say a divided by b multiplied by b, we end up with a multiplied b divided by b, where b and b cancels out, so we end up with a. And as we have already shown, for since a divided by b expresses the quotient resulting from the division of the dividend a by the divisor b, and because it has been demonstrated that the quotient multiplied by the divisor will be the dividend, it is evident that a divided by b multiplied by b must produce a. Okay, let's try for some practice problems. Well, we can go for the example, suppose problem 1 right here. Suppose we have x divided by 6 multiplied by 2x divided by 9. Well, in that case, we just simply multiply the numerator with the numerator. So we end up with 2, and x multiply x is just x squared. So we end up with x squared here. Well, simply because that is equal to 2x multiply x. And for the denominator, we simply multiply the denominators, so that it should be, let me see, so that should be 54, yeah. And well, we can simplify one more time because we can divide, there's a common divisor, which is equal to, the common divisor here is 2. So dividing 54 by 2, well, that should be equal to, of course, we remove this one here, x squared, because we just divide 2 by 2 and we divide 54 by 2, so we end up with x squared divided by 27. And that is the product of these these two fractions over here. Okay, let's try for problem 2. Suppose we have the following fraction, x divided by 2 multiplied by 4x divided by 5 multiplied by 10x divided by 21. Well, in that case we have x multiplied 4x multiplied 10x divided by 2 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 21. And well, x multiply x equals to x to the power of 3. So we have 40x to the power of 3 divided by 10 multiplied 21. That is 210. Okay, so we can probably simplify even further. Yes, we can do that. There's a common divisor, and the common divisor is 10. Common divisor is 10. So we end up with 4x to the power of 3 divided by 21. And since there are no longer any common divisors, this is the simplest expression of the product of the three fractions over here. Let's try for the last problem, problem 3. Let's try with the product of x divided by a multiplied by x plus a divided by a plus c. And yet again, we simply multiply the numerator by the numerator. Thus, we end up with x multiply x plus a divided by a multiply a plus c, which is equivalent to x squared plus x multiply a divided by a squared plus a c.